Hey, Wes, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good, good. We finally got rid of that Eric Bam guy. And so it's you and I, right, at this point. Oh, there he is.
Sorry about that. You know what? So the Wi-Fi went down for a minute, and then it came back up, and I was like stressing out. I'm like, what's going on? So
Did someone drive over it with with your zero turn mower?
no. So I'm guessing you kicked the show off. We're here.
Yes, we kicked it off. It was going to be Wes and I. We didn't know when you were coming back, but good to see
I'm
you.
back. I'm back. So are we ready for some shots on goal?
Absolutely. You want to go
I'll
first?
we missed you last week, so I'll let you go first, sir.
Okay, I got a couple of them. All right.
Yes.
So first of all, congratulations on 722. We picked up 20 subscribers in the last 2 weeks. Pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
My next shot on goal. Very excited. Next Thursday, I have an actual in-person appointment with a new customer. They reached out. It was an old customer coming back. Hi, Mom. And they were like, are you taking on new clients? And would you be interested in come? Yeah, right. Would you be interested in coming? Coming to see us? No pressure. I said, yeah. Look, I'm pretty much zoomed out. I'm there. Plus, I am getting my first shot soon. All right, my last shot.
By the way, the big thing here is in person.
In person. Very excited. And my last, hey, Dave, my last shot on goal is this, right? So
yes,
I don't know if anyone's seen this. This is the penalty shot, limited edition penalty shot, PenaltyBox limited edition swag that is going to be available. But as a surprise to my boy Eric and my boy Wes, this is on its way to your house.
Oh, look at that. Woo. Let's just go now. We'll just save Sharon for next week's show.
All right. Good night.
I'm kidding. I'm excited to have Sharon on. Well, I've got 3 shots on goal. The first one is, shame on the NCAA. Can they not figure some stuff out? So we 15 years ago, if they want to have an NCAA tournament and they want to have the men's tournament where they have this lavish, beautiful, nice workout facility for the men, and they want to give the women like 6 dumbbells to work out with, and 15 years ago just brush it under the rug and move on with their life, fine. But you know what? And I'll be super transparent. 5-6 years ago, I probably wouldn't have cared. But I got 2 girls, and I care, damn it. So NCAA, quit being such a joke and take care of the women just like you do the guys. And by the way, I fully understand it's not the same revenue, but all that revenue goes into one pot. Treat them all the same. That annoyed me. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it up. One of the female basketball players in the NCAA tournament, I don't know what team she was on, pointed out that here's what we have to work out. And it's like 6 dumbbells. And it's embarrassing. Right. This is 2021, people. Can we please be smarter than that?
Did they say that the reason was there was no space for it, and then she took a picture of how much empty space the room had? That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
It's just it's just stupidity. It's stupidity because A, they need more than that, and B, everyone's running around with the greatest communication device in the history of the world, and we can all put everything out on the interwebs, and you're going to be that way? So stupid. That's first. My second shot on goal, in the last week or so, you had a gentleman, in the last week or so this got sold, but a gentleman not far from you in Connecticut was out garage sailing one day and bought this nice little bowl, like the bowl with the blue little writing for $35. And he thought, maybe this is something. This is something, right? Turns out this $35 bowl belonged to the Ming Dynasty, and it just sold last week for $721,000 freaking dollars.
That's unbelievable.
$721,000. Sotheby's appraised it for, I believe it was 200,000 to 400,000. It sold for 721,000. I believe the article said there's only like 22 in existence or something. And so, hey, Gary Vee talks about, flipping stuff and garage selling. $721,000.
I would go to the garage sale and leave with a Velvet Elvis. So this is
right. The last thing I wanted to throw out, you can tell, and the people that know me know I love sports teams. You can see them behind me. I'm not a bandwagon guy. So many people are bandwagon, and I can't stand that stuff, right? And so, I live in Tulsa. The Oral Roberts University Golden Eagles have advanced to the Sweet 16. And oh, my Lord, everyone in my timeline lives in Tulsa. They've all been ORU fans for life.
Oh, sure.
No, you haven't. And where were you like in the first game when were you running around saying, go Golden Eagles? No, you were not. You were talking about Oklahoma and you were talking about Oklahoma State. You weren't talking about ORU, and now they're all ORU fans. If you want to be an ORU fan, I'm good with that, right? I'm great with that. But at least like highs and lows, that's my team. Talk about them good or bad, because I do. I live and die by my stuff. So, it's so anyway. By the way, I wanted to give a shout out to our boy Wes. Wes, can you jump on here real quick? Where's Wes? There he is. Is this man not ready for Easter or what? With that yellow shirt and that bald head, he looks like a giant Easter egg. He's ready to go.
I'm sorry.
Wes, you can drop off, Wes. You can drop off now. Well, without further ado, let's bring Sharon Tiger on, our guest today. Excited to have Sharon on. And I will tell you, hi, Sharon.
Hi.
Shot on goal off of there. I'm sure there it is. So kind of interesting. You meet people on LinkedIn and then you wonder like, well, how did this happen or whatever? Well, I don't know how we connected on LinkedIn, but I'm glad we did because she posts some great content. So look Sharon up on LinkedIn. She's phenomenal. But one of the things that jumped out to me in the last, and it was probably 2 months ago. So if you're on LinkedIn, there's a little icon by your name where it gives you 10 seconds, which is a long time, right, Sharon? It gives you 10 seconds to pronounce your name. And I had just changed mine or activated it and said, hey, this is Eric with Perfect Crust Pizza Liners, blah, blah, blah. And her profile was the next one that just happened to pop up. And I thought, well, I wonder if Sharon's, and boom. And she's like, hi, this is Sharon Tiger, just like the animal. And when I call you back, it was like, I want to woo, win, woo, hoo. And I'm like, I love it. And if you go listen to it, like you hear the woo, win, woo, hoo, like passion. And I'm like, their official customer wooer. And so I guess I just wanted to kick this off by saying thank you for being on. And my first question for you, did you go to Malloy Irish Pub for St. Patrick's Day?
I did not, but I held they are a wonderful establishment. They helped me do a fundraiser almost 2 years ago, and it was a great success, and they were super supportive, and I have nothing but really great things to say about Malloy.
Okay, but you did not go there for St. Patrick's.
No, I've been, the COVID, keeping things, what do you call it, battened down. Haven't been out.
Yeah, no doubt. This is going to be a big question, and I'm going to ask it before Timmy gets a chance to. But there's a huge disconnect, and we all know it, in a company from sales to marketing to customer service. And exactly what you do is you bring all of them together. How do you take all of those and level up to where you're blowing up your customer and winning? And maybe that's just like, you could probably talk about this for an hour, but go ahead.
Well, it is something that I love to talk about, so I'm glad you asked. I feel like there is a huge missed opportunity right now. A lot of companies focus around sales, and it's almost like you're going on a blind date. Like you've met your salesperson, and then you've signed, and then it's like you open the door and, oh, this is not what I signed up for. So I think it's really important that your marketing message marries right up to your sales, and sales carries things through to customer success, and that you take a step back and think about your customer and exactly how they experience every interaction with your company. And I think that it's a huge opportunity for companies to do better. So, yeah.
What are some of the I don't want to say tips and tricks, but what are some of the things that you are there things that you instantly walk into a company and say, okay, you already know in your top of mind, there are these 3 or 4 things that how we can pull people together. Are there any like thoughts on that?
Empathy. That's the number one thing that comes to mind for me. I think, messaging, oftentimes the marketing message is all about them, and, they were established in this year, they've been in business for this long, and them. And they really need to take a step back and think about the customer and what challenges that customer has, and talk about those pain points and let them know that I understand what you're experiencing. And that's why we established this company. We're going to help you fix that. So that's one of the first things that jumps out at me from a marketing perspective. It's not about you, it's about them.
Very cool.
When you left working for others and started out on your own, you're building a personal brand, and you're doing it fairly quickly. Can you talk about how to build a personal brand for people that might not know, and talk about what has sped it up for you?
Oh, I'm really glad you brought that up, Tim, because I would say my personal brand is what helped me a lot when I got pushed off the bench when COVID came. So I, having invested the time on LinkedIn and developed my personal brand, made it very easy for me to pivot. No entrepreneur or startup would say easy, but it definitely helped with the transition. So what I started to do was, I know that I'm different from whatever company I work for. I wanted to be able to share with people who I was and what was important to me and what I stood for, so that they knew who they were working with. Because at the end of the day, your customers are working with your people, and they want to know your people. And that's another area that some companies are beginning to make that shift. But when companies kind of put the blanket down or the gauntlet and say, you can represent us, you can share what we create, and you can promote us. And then, the flip side of that is no one gets to know your people. They don't know who they're working with. And then when layoffs happen, you're kind of on the curb with your bags, and no one can identify you as anything other than that company. So I think it works both ways. And I really like the companies that invest in their employees, want to make them more marketable, and they choose to stay with that company because of that.
Do they feel it's a double-edged sword sometimes to to open up the curtain, if you will, to these people's personalities and push it away from their brand?
I think so. I think there's it's fear of the unknown, a little trepidation about what is this person going to do? Are they going to tarnish my reputation? They like to control it, I think, and control the message. And I think you can put guidelines, put some reasonable guidelines in place to make sure those things don't happen. But your people are your brand, so
right.
Let them be them. Be authentic. And they're also the experts that you're relying on to deliver whatever it is you're delivering. So let them demonstrate their expertise and their thoughts on it. It's more powerful that those people are choosing to work for you, because people are getting to know those experts.
I love everything you just said, because one of the things I wrote down about you yesterday was I thought, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but what is Sharon Tiger? And I literally wrote down people over processes.
Always. 1,000% people over process. I'm an empath, and I'm someone who loves to rally around people and see them be successful. And if I can help in any way, I want to play a small role in that success. But people need cheerleaders. They need to hear, I'm doing a good job. I've got this. I'm talented enough to do this. And someone who can say, yes, you are doing it. You're doing a great job. I'm insanely curious and supportive of people.
There's a comment over here, and it's Joanna Tiger. Is that your sister?
Oh, yeah, that's my baby sister.
Baby sister. Okay. And you're a twin, right? So is this your twin sister, baby sister, or is this your sister's other sister?
No, this is baby sister. She's younger than me. I have an identical twin sister, Camille.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, I wanted to ask, because, I think this is like wicked freaking cool, but your grandmother was an original Rockette.
Oh, yes. The half pint with a kick. She was 5'2" and old Hollywood glamour, porcelain skin, blue eyes, and wore the fur coat and the diamond-studded like turban. And she played that role all the way, into her 80s. And
Wow.
she danced with Fred Astaire. She knew Will Rogers. She was in movies with Eddie Cantor. She was Jean Harlow's replacement when Jean Harlow died filming Saratoga. So yeah, I have great memories of her coming to visit and teaching us how to kick like the Rockettes. And she used to, when we were little, we had the booties on our feet, and it was the 70s, and it would be shake, 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 shake your booty. Yeah.
So did that dance gene get passed down at all to your sisters or your children?
1,000%. I mean, I'll dance on a whim. I'll sing on a whim. I think that performing gene is in all of us. My younger sister, Joanna, who you said had commented, she does improv and things in New York City. So she definitely loves the stage.
Well, the twin sister is here now too. So.
Oh, yay.
There we go. We got the whole family.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of dancers, Wes. Go ahead, Tim. What were you going to say?
I'm good. Go ahead. Finish.
No, I was going to say, speaking of dancers, Wes is the president of the Ohio fan club for Britney Spears. Do you know any Britney moves or anything? Can you wrap us around?
I know her songs. I know her songs, and I know some people that know her. I was trying to think of some, Britney related things to share with you, since you mentioned Wes was such a diehard Britney fan.
Oh, he is. It's huge. It's crazy weird. He has a Britney tattoo on his back. It's just it's over the top. I know you posted on LinkedIn. Do you have a favorite Britney song or no?
I love all of them, really. They're just fun to sing to. I've got one that I like to work out to. I like the Womanizer, which is terrible to say as a woman, but I love the beat for working out to it.
This is like a family reunion. Apparently your mom is here now too.
Oh, Mama Tiger. Got it.
This is just amazing. Mom, I don't know if mom wants, what are you insecure about?
Me? I don't know if I would say insecurity, but I'm always very concerned with how other people feel and not wanting to do anything to hurt someone.
Yeah.
And maybe, sometimes there's I think everyone has battles with imposter syndrome sometimes. Like, do I really know this as well as I think I know it? That sort of thing.
Right.
But not too much.
I guess maybe to go down that rabbit hole, you mentioned the insecurity of wanting to make sure how people feel. That's got to be a great driver for what you do in wooing people.
Yeah,
right?
I want people to feel good, and I know that when people feel, I think that ties directly into sales, because anytime someone makes a purchase, it's an emotional purchase. It's always to gain pleasure or avoid pain, and so I want to understand what those challenges are, and speak to them, and be helpful and be supportive. So yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your podcast? Now, I know you guys haven't launched it yet, but you, when we were talking while you were in the green room, you had said that do you have a couple in the can already that you are editing? Talk about your podcast if you can.
Okay. Now I'm so excited about this podcast.
She's walking.
I'm like kind of like, come on now.
She looked like Wes watching a Britney video.
or he shut you off.
So the podcast is called Let's Not Talk About It. And we are sharing stories of ordinary people that have overcome extraordinary trauma. And we are talking with people who all over, from homelessness, poverty, addiction, human trafficking, kidnapping, you name it. We're talking with people, and it's just remarkable human resilience. And we are delivering it in a way that, believe it or not, we're using humor because I think humor is a coping mechanism for a lot of people. So it's been an incredible experience. We're launching on March 31st. We have been working for months. And the idea came about my business partner, Camille Tootie. She's a journalist. And then I get to work alongside two other amazing women, Amanda Zadea and Lisa Abeda. All have copywriting and journalist backgrounds. But Camille and I were talking, we actually met on LinkedIn. And we've been friends for 6 years. And, you know, as friendships evolve, you learn more about one another. And we shared some experiences. And Camille said, why aren't we talking about this? Why don't we talk more about this? And she shared it's a pillar of journalism to give a voice to the voiceless. And for me, anytime you talk about something vulnerable, you normalize it for someone else. And so we decided we wanted to make a difference and build a community. And so we're launching on the 31st and super excited. Let's not talk about it. And I tell everybody we're talking about everything. We're unshushing and we're taking the lid off of all these taboo topics and things that have stigmas so people don't talk about it. We're going to talk about it.
Can you give us a preview of your first episode?
Yes, the first episode is going to be a young man that was incarcerated at a young age and has just beat the odds of the system, really. And he's got an incredible story. And that's probably about all I'll share.
Okay.
Wes Wyatt is your first guest.
Who?
Wes Wyatt is your first.
You all pick on poor Wes so much. Poor Wes.
Hey, can you, we're going to totally shift gears from like the seriousness of your podcast, but the Magic Frog. Can you
really did dig.
Can you talk about the Magic Frog?
Yeah. So growing up, one of the things that I enjoyed most about my dad is he would gather us all around at night and make up stories about the Magic Frog. And so during elementary school, I wrote for the Write a Book stories, a story about the Magic Frog, and it won. And then Joanna, if you're on, hijacked it and made it into a college play without telling me. But that's sisterhood.
That's dirty.
Yeah. But the Magic Frog. So I have great memories of that. I love, well, it goes back to, it's one of the reasons we're doing the podcast is storytelling. I love storytelling. So, yeah.
Well, Joanna commented, she said the Magic Frog stories. Do you have a favorite story? Your dad made these up every night. Do you have like a favorite or anything? Or
my favorite is the one that I wrote about, which was all the people were. It's almost like what's that Dr. Seuss movie that came out? Well, people are coming, like industry is coming in and they're chopping down the forest, and all the animals don't have a home anymore. So the Magic Frog, when people would, ask him for his help, he would do a spell and he'd say, abracadabra, abracazoo, turn these trees into spaghetti. And then all the trees would turn to spaghetti and there was nothing to chop down. Industry moved on and then he brought the trees back for the animals. That's my story.
I love it. A question I think we ask fairly regularly on this show is, what are you reading?
Nothing right now.
You may not have time.
I haven't had time. I've been building a business and launching a podcast. So I haven't had time. I did read a book that Camille gifted me, and I can't think of the name off the top. It was Why Didn't Anybody Tell Me About This Shit? That was the last book I read. And it was a great gift from Camille Tootie.
Love that. I think we're looking back now, a year back, and here we are a year later, and I think a lot of people will look at COVID and have a big silver lining to it. And I already think I know some of your answers, but what's your silver lining to COVID-19?
I'm the captain of my ship. No one's going to take my keys away from me again. I will always make sure that I have financial security because I'm going to will it to happen. That's my silver lining. And also, I really got a chance to take my talents and see them impact other businesses, which I didn't really have the opportunity to do. I'm really tapping into my creative side, which has always been something I loved, from the Write a Book stories to the artwork to, coming up with things to put on stage. I love being able to use my creativity in a way that helps other people. So, yeah.
Cool.
Charles Coachman, who's often listens to us, wants to know, what have you had to overcome aside from losing your job and starting your own? Give us another example.
I've overcome a lot of things. Some of it I'll reveal when I do a podcast episode on me. But I think one of the most heart-wrenching things I've had to overcome or work through is having a daughter with a chronic incurable disease, learning to manage that and be strong for her and always put on my brave face. And then when she's out of the room, go, that's a big challenge. And it was a significant challenge when COVID hit, because that's one of the reasons that I've battened down the hatches. We're very careful. It caused supply shortages for her medications. So yeah,
Wow.
you'd think that'd be enough,
Sure.
but there's more. Don't worry. Let me get my luggage. Hold on.
To come kind of full circle, how did you come up with woo win woohoo?
I think whenever I get excited about something or excited for someone, I say woohoo. And so I just built on that. I thought wooing is how you talk about what your customers need. You draw them in like a magnet. Win, you close the sale. And woohoo is when you have an opportunity to turn your customers into loyal brand ambassadors that are going to accelerate your growth. And so it all just tied together. And I thought, how am I going to stand out? Well, that's how I'm going to stand out. Woo, win, woohoo.
Hey, it worked for me. When I heard it on LinkedIn, I'm like, I love this lady. You could feel the energy in it, which was really cool.
Eric, you know what I loved about you? I have
ma'am.
to tell you, my husband is a pizza connoisseur.
Yeah.
And so when I told him, I connected with the guy that makes these great liners, and he's showing all these crazy pizzas. So this is like a topic. I'm like, what did Eric show today? I'm like, look at this pizza. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people get a little tired of that, but I don't even understand how. But
Not in my crib.
you've never been skiing and you've never been to Vegas, I learned yesterday. Now, have you never been water skiing or snow skiing?
I've tubed on the water. I've done but that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been skiing either, so I'm right there with you. Tim will
Okay.
probably both of us, because he's up in New Hampshire and probably skis like just every other day. But I've been to Vegas, and I can't believe you've not been to Las Vegas.
No, but evidently that's where I'm going after COVID. Everyone said, let's go. So
Wow, Timmy, I've got one last question before we get out of here and wrap up. Do you have anything else?
Not really, but I tell you, I did a little research on you as well, and I loved your positive attitude. You wrote that you want to lift up other people, that you want to be like a magnet to attract your tribe. Now, I know that is something that Eric loves. He has we adopted a saying from another one of our guests. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're attracting your tribe?
by being my authentic self, not pretending to be something I'm not, and being okay with the fact that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. So I just speak my truth and what I believe. And I'm very much an idealist. I hate things that are unjust or unfair. So I try to just be myself and surround myself with people that they don't have to agree with me, but respect that that's what I think and that's what I believe. So
that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
That is cool. So I think we jokingly talked about it before the show came on. My last question for you is, you get one social media platform, and I already know what your answer is going to be, which is you get one social media platform for the next 10 years. For you, it's going to be LinkedIn. Can you talk about why it's LinkedIn versus Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook?
Because of the professional network, and not just it's a great mix of professional and personal. And I got to connect with people who, they're ambitious, they're growing. I've met my mentors that way. I've got like 3 or 4 key mentors that I connected with through LinkedIn. It's easy. People are engaging with meaningful comments, and they are a community that wants to lift you up. And I really felt that, a year ago today, when I needed to be lifted up, I needed to hear the pat on the back or whatever, I got that from my LinkedIn community. I posted a really vulnerable post saying, hey, I lost my job and it sucks. I feel like I'm eating sand. I got tossed around in this wave. And the outpouring of people on LinkedIn, but it was overwhelming. And LinkedIn is a great place to be.
That's cool. You know,
I
when
wish I
you
could
posted that about losing your job, I shared it with Tim, and Tim said, I don't care.
Typical.
I'm not even on LinkedIn. I don't know what it said. So
You're not on LinkedIn, Tim?
oh, I would like to be. For
Okay.
some reason, I keep getting hacked and kicked off. So it's I don't know.
That's not good.
I think it's Eric, doing it to me.
It's me. Because I'm very good. Like I'm a hacker. So hey, before we let you go, you're both your sisters and your mom are on here. Any like embarrassing stories of the tiger tribe that you care to throw out?
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, maybe I'll share one. No, maybe I won't.
No, come on.
No, you have to now. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Typical sisters. I think what people need to know about, or that might be curious to know about identical twins, is that you're super competitive. You're the worst of enemies, but the best of friends.
Right.
And there's one, Joanne actually brought this to life in improv, but when we were dating, it was the 80s and we needed that Aquanet hairspray. There was only this much left. And I had a date and Camille didn't, and she locked my mother's door and I could hear it. It was just fueling the anger. I could hear her. And I was like, and I kicked the door down. And then we both looked at each other like, and we covered for each other. And Joanna helped us cover. We all covered, scrambled, told mom that we were horse playing around and tripped over the fan cord and the door fell down. I don't know if she bought it, but well,
No,
now, Mom.
She's on here now, so that
She don't embarrass her, she said.
Right.
Hey, as we wrap today up, how can people get a hold of you?
SharonTiger.com. And my email is Sharon@SharonTiger.com. It's pretty easy. And LinkedIn, of course.
Of course.
So reach
Sharon
out.
Tiger. A lot of the people that are on here that are commenting, I know are all on LinkedIn. You need to all go check her out and go click on the little and you know what I miss for people on LinkedIn that don't use that little icon to promote themselves. 10 seconds is a long time.
Yeah.
Tim doesn't use it because he just can't stay on LinkedIn for some reason. But
I had so many interesting pronunciations of my name that I thought, well, let me help people out. Because Tigger, Tigray. I'm like, it's Tiger. Let me help you.
I love it. Well, we're going to wrap up for today. Next week, we have the other two Tiger sisters on as guests. Super exciting. But anyway, that's all I got for today. Sharon, thank you so much. You were awesome. And I love following you on LinkedIn, and you share some great stuff. And I'm excited for your podcast to come out and for Wes to be your first guest, because he's got just great stories of his childhood and everything he's overcome. So I guess that's it, Tim. Shout out to Woodstock Inn and Brewery. And I guess there's only one thing left to do.
Frozen hand.
Oh, this. Thank you both. It was a great